we've got quite a bit more exploring to do in this zone. And I'm excited to do so, but it's going to be a short episode. I know I always curse myself when I say that. Usually when I say that, it turns out to be a long episode. But I haven't done my level up process that I was going to do in between episodes because I figured I may as well show my thought process on the abilities and whatnot that I take, or that I don't take in any case, because I'm mostly dropping things in order to get more things. But we also had the update on the Crossroads stuff, so I could go there. I don't know. Maybe I do that. I got to go back to Dogtown and sell a bunch of stuff for reputation. We're all over the place. And then I got to go back to the Lighthouse, obviously, as we saw there. But let's do our level up process. Let's start with that, get it all out of the way. So we're level 30 now, which means we can get basically either one of these or both. I could go both. Plague Arrow. You can now charge your arrows beyond the normal charge level to apply necrosis in an area around your target. I didn't like this one at first, but now, not a bad thing, actually. Because I do like Emmerich, and I want to take him some more. And this kind of benefits that. But then we also get maximum arrows, which don't matter for us. The arrow regeneration is pretty good. Trick shot, every 5th arrow that strikes a single target splinters into projectiles that may hit nearby enemies. With our current bow build, that's really not great because we only have one arrow that we're firing. I mean, that arrow does a bunch of damage, but if I'm hitting a thing a 5th time, is that getting the extra damage of the one arrow that we're doing? I don't know. Every 8th arrow hit grants you precision. The final attack grants 3 arrows. Yeah, to see, it's not gonna, I don't know about that. Okay, Messy Death. Defeating an enemy with a charged attack from any weapon. All right, finger guns. We do, all of our things are charged attacks with our bow. Causes an explosion after a short delay, dealing additional damage all around them. Yeah, I like that. Stagger on weak point hit, stagger on critical hit. Defeating enemies at close range resets the duration of any active advantages. What are advantages? Any beneficial status, actually. Okay. Inspired takedowns. Perform a takedown, now deals 25% damage, grants rally party, and reduces your party's ability cooldowns by 50%. Damn, that's really good. Okay, so, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and start getting rid of stuff. We're going to refund that, which allows us to get this and that. And then, honestly, I could kind of finagle my way this way if I wanted to, but getting both of these is probably ideal. So now we got to find 2 passives that I don't really want. The physical resistance, that's one of them. And I believe there might have been one down here. Weak point damage. No, I don't like the weak point damage. Actually, I like a lot of these, to be perfectly honest. Air regeneration, momentum generation, takedown damage. Those are all pretty good. We can't break some of these connections, which is a problem. What's this one? Tool abilities deal 25% more damage versus armor and barrier. I like that one. 4% more damage per max arrow count. I think this actually does stack the damage, by the way. Even if, so let's say our max, well, I don't know. Let's say we have +4 max arrows from random things. I think I still get the 16% damage, but it's just not included. It's like I don't get the actual arrows from that. So I think that's something to consider. Oh, yeah. Like, yeah, I'm getting +4 max from that alone. So that's 16% extra damage. It's pretty good. I do want that. All right, let's drop 1 point in on defeating, Let's go ahead and do this one, the performing a takedown. I'll save the points and get the in the fray passive the next time I level up, I think. We got a lot of experience on that last thing, so I'm expecting us to be able to do that. All right, let's take a look at the map. Do I want to go do this real quick? Oh, goodness, this is like a large area to discover there. No, I think what we do is we go to the Lighthouse. Let's go check in with the team. Let's get to do a check-in, because they might give us more quests for the same area, and I want to get those done all at the same time, right? I feel like this is the more sensible action.
Just got word. First Warden's calling everyone back to Weishaupt. Everyone except me, seems like. Guess the First Warden didn't like me joining your team.
Calling Wardens back from all over Thedas is a big step. Did he give any reason why?
Not exactly. but I've heard rumors of a massive darkspawn horde on the move. Even hearing there's an archdemon with them.
Has to be the gods. We need to warn them. How far out? Has to be the gods.
The timing can't be a coincidence. The gods must be behind this.
I bet they are. Rook, if the gods have an archdemon, Warden lore says archdemons only show up during a blight. Doesn't say anything about elven gods. Seems like the rules have changed, and we're going in blind. We need to know what we're up against.
I'll talk to Solas. See if he knows anything about any of this.
He's
Make
not
sure
gonna.
the others are ready to move.
I mean, honestly, it's been a while since I've talked to Solas. I've gotten a lot of information on him since then. The Siege of Weishaupt. Okay, that's cool. Where's this quest at exactly? Does anybody have new stuff? He wants. Oh, I got the gift for him. I got to talk to Solas. I got to talk to Harding. Let's go talk to Solas first, and then just to kind of continue the story thread, and then we'll go talk to the other two nerds. Also, I've got a hot topic to talk about regarding Dragon Age. Excited to actually talk about it. Actually, I have two. I just added one. The other one I'm not excited to talk about.
How fares your battle?
The gods are moving against Weishaupt and the Grey Wardens. We've heard rumors the Darkspawn are being led by an archdemon.
And you have questions?
I need to know how archdemons relate to the gods. Are they just like the blighted dragons, or are they something else? I also need to know how to deal with the gods if they show up at Weishaupt.
I propose a bargain. I will answer your question if you answer mine.
What?
Tit for tat.
How are the Grey Wardens? Do they understand the truth of the danger yet?
Oh, they couldn't. I proved myself already, right? But they couldn't even begin.
You agreed to help me.
What did you think my help would look like, Rook? I need to know that you are prepared.
Their leader is an idiot.
No. The First Warden still refuses to listen.
As I feared.
I tried diplomacy, I tried being firm. Nothing worked.
When I asked why you should be trusted to lead the fight, you said that nobody else was doing it. That sufficed for me. But you will need more to convince the Grey Wardens. They see themselves as destined to lead this battle. You cannot defeat Elganan and Gillenane without the Wardens. What will you do to bring them to your side?
Damn, that's a good question. It's about the First Warden. That's a really good question. Keep talking to the Wardens. Let the Wardens try. Ooh. I think they need to see for themselves. It's like a child. You gotta treat this stupid Grey Warden leader like a child. He's so arrogant. He feels like, you know, we're just kind of a thorn in his side, and he's destined to go take out this archdemon, right? But he doesn't understand the danger he's up against, and no, he will never understand that until he sees it. He won't know that he can fail until he does fail, and then at that point you go, see, you know. I don't know. Let the Wardens try.
I can't force the First Warden to listen. I have to let the Wardens try it their way.
And how many Wardens will die before the First Warden realizes
A
his
lot.
mistake?
A lot.
I've done everything I can to reason with him.
I once warned an elven village that Gillenane was coming and they were in danger. They would not listen. I had to watch as their bodies twisted, as their shrieks turned into the grunting of animals. Their eyes were the worst part. They were still aware. They knew what had been done to them. I gained little peace from knowing that I had tried to warn them. Is that what you hope for?
No. I have to find a way to get through to them.
Then what will you do?
I see what they're doing here. They're showing you who Solas is. They're showing you why he's done the things that he's done. Solas is literally sitting here giving his pitch for his actions. the whatever is necessary is his answer. But my guy has better boundaries than that.
I don't have to convince all of them. I just have to convince the first warden.
Or remove him.
Enjoyable as that is to imagine, I doubt the rest of the wardens would approve.
Did you know the Evanurus once numbered many more than those whose names survive in the Elven Pantheon? One warlord was particularly cruel. I sought to free his slaves, but so fearsome was his reputation that none would join me.
What did you do?
I made people laugh at him.
How did that help?
For 12 years. Every sound near him, from whispered pleas to shouted oaths to crackling fire, all became mocking laughter. His mind broke under the ridicule, and when he fell, his slaves rose up and joined me.
I doubt laughter is going to work on the first warden.
If not that, then what?
We just keep going. I talk to the wardens.
All I can really do is keep trying to get through to them.
Have you ever ridden home in a wagon and felt the streets go from paved to dirt beneath the wheels? The horse is slow, and everything grows quiet as you're near home. What do you call that feeling?
I don't really have a word for it.
No, you do not. Elganon destroyed that emotion. He burned it from the mind of every living being. There were spirits of that feeling, just as there are spirits of joy, or fear, or despair. I begged them to fight.
What happened to them?
They waited too long. Without the emotion in this world to focus on, they faded until nothing remained. When you grow quiet, it is a part of your soul reaching for a feeling and finding emptiness. Because I failed.
I understand. I'm not going to fail.
How?
See, they did it. I had a feeling that's what they were trying to get at, which is why I said they're trying to justify his actions. They give you the one option, whatever is necessary. This is like the "Are we the baddies" meme.
Whatever it takes.
Easily said. But it will have to be enough for now. You have answered my question, and I owe you an answer in return.
Yes, the old gods of Tevinter, the archdemons.
There never were Tevinter gods. The archdemons, as you call them, were always merely the weapons of the Evanurus.
All right. Let's hope we can find the gods before they find their weapons.
Unfortunately, the Dragon Thrall's life force is bound to the Evanurus as both power and protection. You will not be able to kill or likely even harm one of the Evanurus until their Dragon Thrall is slain.
Gotcha. You know, I don't like, by the way, that it popped up being like, you've chosen to do whatever it's like, no, I didn't choose that. I chose all of the other ones until you gave me no other choice. And even then, I wouldn't have chosen it if I had some other way to click out of that conversation. And so that illusion of choice, that's not okay. Don't be popping your stupid crap up telling me that was a choice that I made when it clearly was not. If it was the first thing that I clicked on, yeah, go ahead and put that there. It was the last thing that I clicked on because the game gave me no other choice to do that. That's not okay. That takes the power away from the player rather than giving them the choice. And actually, I think that that's a pretty big indication of modern BioWare games is you have an illusion of choice, but in the end, do you really have any choice? No, they're just kind of putting you down the path that they want you to go, which is insane to say because you then defend it. You think to yourself, well, they can't give you all of these choices because by the end of the game, they have to wrap up the narrative somehow, and if they don't, then there's going to be like a billion ways they have to end the game and all of that development time, blah, 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 blah. But then you look at a game like Baldur's Gate 3 and you go, but they did it. Now, different structure, it's easier for them to do that because they built their game around that idea. But if BioWare just built their games around that idea, then we would have much greater choice. That's the problem with Baldur's Gate 3. It has changed games forever. The way that Larian has put that game out, it just it's like an explosive bomb in the middle of the games industry. And every RPG that was in the middle of being developed is condemned because that's what happens. They had a timetable that was outside of the launch of Baldur's Gate 3 with Dragon Age, with, I mean, all of these new RPGs coming out, Avowed, the Elder Scrolls 6, like these games, the choices they made in early development, if it was too late, they were unable to steer their ship, and they will be condemned versus Baldur's Gate 3. And then if they were early enough in development, like Elder Scrolls 6, maybe they can steer the ship and change it to be something greater. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. This has only really happened a couple of times in the games industry. And I've lived through many of them, and this is a very interesting time to be an RPG lover, because you're like, what's going to happen next? Tell me of the dragons.
What can you tell me about the archdemons themselves?
Each is different, shaped by the whims and ego of its master. Elganon is the Lord of Tyranny. He would have ruled alone had Nathor not forced him to share power. Those who are strong, he molds into dictators themselves, with visions of godhood. Those who are weak, he crushes. His archdemon reflects him. It is huge, to feed his ego, the epitome of dragonkind, bent to his will.
Damn. Tell me what you really think of the guy.
He is cruelty and arrogance personified. All of the Evanuris were flawed, but he made all of them worse. By contrast, Gillenane was a servant of Andrul, whose skill at making monsters earned her promotion to the Evanuris. She is brilliant, ambitious, and unconstrained by anything you would understand as morality. In a kinder world, you would never need to see what she has done to her archdemon. In this world, I only hope you kill it quickly. In any event, the Evanuris will not be vulnerable until their archdemons are dead.
The old stories of the Tevinter gods have them whispering in the dreams of ancient magisters. How did they do that if they were just tools of the elven gods?
The archdemons were once high dragons. The Evanuris bound them as a source of power. When I imprisoned the gods, their dragons remained free. That was my mistake.
How so?
I never bound a dragon to myself, for I believed that to enslave another creature was immoral. As such, I did not understand the power that connection gave. I thought the prison I had made was perfect. But their dragons were the conduit through which they spoke to dreaming minds.
Any other surprises we should know about?
Even with their dragons dead, the Evanuris are powerful and well protected. You will need to use my dagger, the one you recovered. It can pierce their enchantments and strike them down.
All right. Kill the archdemons, then use the dagger to take down the gods.
Even a single opportunity to strike the Evanuris down will be rare, fleeting, and costly. You will not have another chance to catch them unawares. When you strike, you must be fully prepared.
Okay. Man, I got a lot to talk about. Destination available. Weishaupt. Cool. So, let's take a look at the map. Let's see where this is at real quick before I go talk to my companions. Right over there. Cool. So we have everything else to do before we go do that. Beautiful. We got a map full of icons to go clear. I'm looking forward to it. So this is my element. This is where I'm best. First thing. So, BioWare has undergone a retransformation this week. If you keep up to date with your gaming news, you will probably already know this. If you don't, then I hate to be the bearer of bad news. They completely gutted the studio, and they put only the people that they need to work on Mass Effect to be there to work on Mass Effect. And that's unfortunate, because all those people who worked on Dragon Age, who are now redundant because the studio only needs those people to work on the early development of Mass Effect, have either been put on other EA projects, which could be anywhere. They could be over at like Respawn or stuff like that. And the rest got laid off. Really sucks. That's the state of our industry. Mass layoffs. If you ever wanted to get into the games industry, now is not the time. It's not. Oh, she had a quest, but it's gone now. Oh, interesting. Now is not the time to get in the games industry. That's why I have not continued that path from being a game designer. I'm just, it's not worth it. I can have stable income running my own business, rather than be constantly at fear of losing my job because the studio is not doing well, or because of idiots, and that's a whole other issue. So yeah, we're in a situation where what's up with Dragon Age? We don't know. Are we gonna get another game? We don't know. What I urge is that the studio stops trying to make blockbuster hits. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're trying to chase what is popular in the moment, but game design takes so long that by the time that the game comes out, that thing that you were chasing is no longer good. It is no longer popular, and you are now bound like a slave to that idea. And then that game comes out, and people go, ugh. Like this is an old game. This should have come out years ago. This would have been great like 3 or 4 years ago, but right now, ugh. That's what people say. You want to know why I know that's what people say? Because that's what people said about Inquisition, and that's what people said about Andromeda. Although Andromeda had other issues, sure, but there was a lot of old things there that they were chasing, the open world and stuff and whatnot, and it came out too late. There were already great open world games that had come out, like Witcher 3 and whatnot. And then you had the issue of Anthem chasing live service stuff. Didn't work. It just keeps happening. Stop making games because you're chasing what is popular in the industry. It's the same problem that happened with this game. They rebooted the development of it at one point because they were chasing a multiplayer live service experience, and that obviously was not the way to go. They saw that and made a transition, but we still have the bones of that in the game. We still have the shadows of that development that was put in, that time that was put in, and it has made the game a worse game. If you just did this, if you just found the right people that love Dragon Age, that know how this game feels and should be written. I mean, whoever wrote the Solas stuff was doing a great job. Get them all together and then just be like Larian Studios, just go do your thing. You're good at doing that thing, go do it. Go make the best Dragon Age game that there is and let them do that and let it find its audience. Don't be chasing what's going to make it popular. Unfortunately, that won't happen because it's under a publisher that needs to make money. It's not a want thing, it needs to make money to exist. It's unfortunate.
Good taste.
You're welcome. Got him a shadow box. Cool. And you know what? And this is the other thing. The other thing I wanted to talk about, because I think it's important. I had a comment in the previous episode that I address. Like I actually replied to it, but I want to reply to everybody in case you saw that before I replied to it. They said that I'm not going to misquote. I'm going to directly quote because I think, and if you're the person who commented and you're listening, this is out of love, my man. This is out of love. This is not to call you out, but they say, I truly believe if this game took a more gaming / not political tone, it would be exponentially better. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I thought really long and hard about this. It took me a long time to reply. It took me several days. And I was thinking about it the entire time. Why do I disagree?
See anything you like?
Because Dragon Age Origins is considered the best game of the series, and its whole premise is purely political. The whole game mechanic is you trying to go to different factions with political diversiveness between them and trying to unite them. That's the whole game mechanic, is political. It's to get at that I forgot what they call it, the meeting at the end of the game where it's like it's doing all of the math, like who have you recruited and who have you pissed off, and do you have enough points in the back end? Like, do you have enough points to like overthrow this guy to then go fight the archdemon and whatnot? Like, the whole game is political. The whole thing between the mages and the Templars is political. The whole thing of allowing you to have like same-sex relationships within the game, at the time, that was fairly new. It's now very common in games for you to be able to romance whoever you want, regardless of what character you are, which I actually appreciate, because I enjoy playing female characters because I think their voice actors are often better. I enjoy listening to their voices more than I do the male voice actors. No offense to the male voice actors. It's a nicer sound to me, so I tend to like it. And so I'll play a female character, but I'll romance other female characters because that's who in the games, that's who I want to romance. It's like, that's the way that I go. And the game allows me to do that. But, you know, being able to play the character I want to play and also romance the characters that I want to romance, right? It's nice to have that option. But that wasn't always the case in games, and Dragon Age Origins was one of those ones that people didn't want to play because it had that thing in it. And it's like, no, that game, purely from a political standpoint, was absolutely divisive and political. And it stands the test of time of being the greatest Dragon Age game and one of the greatest RPGs. And so I wholeheartedly disagree. I think you can be political, you can do it correctly, and still have a I'm not going to go do this yet. Let's go back over here, I think. Let's go get this one done. You could be political, you can do all these crazy divisive things in the game, and if you write it correctly and if you put it in the game correctly, it works. And unfortunately, they've just kind of shoehorned it in as a thing to check off of the list in a lot of cases. There are good examples and bad examples of that in this game, which we've discussed previously. So I just wanted to say, like, no, I disagree with that. I actually think in order for Dragon Age to be Dragon Age, it has to be political. It has to follow that line of thinking of, like, you have these crazy factions that are very different from each other all over the place in the game. You're going to have a politically driven game. That's the way that the game is set up. That's the way the world is set up. And you have even entire regions of the world that are based politically, like Tevinter with the magisters and the slaves and everything. Like, that's a political issue that is based in a whole region of the world that has to deal with that anytime you talk about them or go there or deal with anybody that is from that region in the world. That's just how it is. That's my argument for it. I think what we do here, though, is we take out this quest. We go get these two done. Although they say level 40. Maybe I don't do that yet. What was the other level on that one? It doesn't say. I know they said like 30. Maybe I do go to the crossroads. Let's get the crossroads stuff done. I think that's probably a better idea.